you know, you can do it for free.
Mm-hmm.
But this one is actually a paid account. So I'm trying to connect us now. But when I connect to Facebook, I'm noticing like there's a like it's not closing down the window that we come in on. And to open the one once we're live, you know, it don't carry over.
Oh, okay.
So it's causing like
Because I don't hear an echo,
you
like
hear
when we're
you
talking.
do you hear a delay?
Mm-mm, I don't.
Wow. And normally I'll just close. Let me see something. Okay. Normally I'll just close it out once I make the connection like I just did now. And now I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing it. So now I'm not going to hear that delay. So we should be good
Okay.
now. And hopefully Keela will find her way back in with the new credentials. Okay, but yes, we have to. I don't know that Charlotta is going to come back. She was trying to come on, but let me see. I made passcode number. I need 3 passcode numbers, huh? I'm no, you just need 2. Oh, okay, okay. Maybe I didn't give her all of it. Yes, I did. You used the 729-908-1098. Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. That's the one I got.
Okay, awesome. She'll be able to get it. She just tried, so I'll try again. But yeah, sis, you know, so what Keela was what she did, I have to commend her for that. A lot
Yes.
of people will not, they'll stay in those type of relationships for years, 30, 40 years, have kids, grandchildren, well, children, grandchildren, great grandchildren, and all of them can see how miserable, you know, their parents are being together, even though they've been together for 30, 40 years, you know?
Right.
And
Mm-hmm.
so to be able to say, even though it took her a little, I think she said 10 years, um, even though it took her a little time, I'm so happy that she's able to get out of that. Let me
Yes.
call her and see. To get all of that. So, you know,
That
yeah,
definitely
but that,
can. Yeah, people. That definitely can. When people have kids involved and that time that you don't value, spent in a relationship and you have vested in, it's hard to leave that person
yes,
when you've done all.
absolutely.
You have dreams
Absolutely.
and plans with this individual, and then you try to give them the benefit of the doubt. And who knows if I'm sure there was promises
Yeah, are
being
you
made
able to
at
get
the time.
connected?
No,
Mhm.
it's saying that I need a passcode.
Okay, so the passcode is, so did you get the one I just texted you, the 729 or 7,
Yeah, I
whatever?
got that.
Okay, and then with the passcode, I didn't give it to you? It didn't,
Uh-huh.
oh, I thought I,
Was
okay.
it the YG?
Yeah,
YJ?
yeah, and then the last letter is D and it's capitalized.
Yeah, it's not working.
Okay, I don't know what's going on. Latrice, she used it and she was able to get in.
Yeah, maybe I want to try it again.
Yeah, just try it
YJB.
again. What am I calling? Uh-oh.
Oh,
Oh, okay, I must have hung up somewhere. Okay, I would just probably power the phone on, power it back, and then try.
okay, I'm
Okay,
trying.
okay. Yeah, so she's trying. I'm sorry, you guys. We having some technical difficulties. We got shut down. I had opened up our original live through Zoom on a basic account. And so it only allows you so long to talk before it ends the live. And so we had to go back in and schedule on our account. And now our guest, Keela, she is having some problems getting back on. So Latrice and I will just go ahead and continue with the conversation regarding, we only have a few more minutes. I said that this one might run over to 9:30. If everybody's aboard, we'll take it that far. If not, then we'll just get rescheduled for
Fine with
Monday.
it.
It's a good conversation we
It's a
have
great
going.
conversation.
Yeah, yes, we are
Yes.
talking about right now relationships, and we asked our guest Keela, you know, some questions in regards to how the last question I believe was how what you know she went through in a 10-year relationship where she was involved with her kid's father who was an alcoholic. We um we were asking her, you know, what could she, what kind of advice can she give someone else that have, you know, gone through what she has gone through. And basically she's just saying, like, if you're gonna stay in it, stay in it. But if you're gonna leave, then leave. She chose to leave her relationship. And but she was honest and she kept it real. And she said, but all of those emotions and all of that I put into the relationship, I have brought it on or into my current relationship. And as a result, we went through the struggle of me having to heal, coming out of depression and things like that. And it hasn't been easy, but they have been together. She's with my son now, and they've been together for 2 years, going on 3 years. And things have gotten better with the both of them. And I mentioned right before we all were disconnected that my son, and I can speak on his behalf, honey, I've been watching him for 38 years. And, he has a problem with anger. He always have it, and, once when he was married, he went through some things in his marriage. And so, he has some issues, and it's all because, I believe it's because his father wasn't around, his father wasn't around. Like I share my testimony. Hey, listen, I had 3 different children, as my sister said, and Keela mentioned, I had 3 different children by 3 different men. And my youngest son's father was the only one decided to really stick around. My daughter's dad, he loved me to death, but his life was that of a criminal, and he had serving double life for murder. So he wasn't able to help me, and then the Randy, the one that Keela's with, his father always chased us around. I was never still where he can be in his son's life. So I think that, my son is angry within himself because he had to see me go through a whole bunch of stuff, getting with these men that, was selling all these lies, perpetrating, like we were talking about earlier, Latrice, how people can manipulate your mind and you so caught up in wanting it. Listen, look, we all, I think all of us women, we be looking for our Boaz, and then the first thing
and end up with a bozo.
Come on now.
Yes.
Listen, end up take the bow off, or end up with take the bow off of that, and you get that, yeah. So
that too.
Yeah. And here we go. We don't normally, a lot of times we don't realize it until we put everything in it. All of our emotions, our heart and everything, sometimes our money, come on, our investments, and we start getting involved. But I know somebody, honey, that is just dear to my heart. She didn't take a whole lot of time, honey, to figure that thing out. And she made a decision to walk away from a situation similar to that. And, she was, and the reason why this talk show is in existence, and Latrice is here standing next to me, because we don't want women to go through things like that because of the barriers in our thinking, right?
Right. And our upbringing, the way that we were raised, the things that we seen in our own parents' house, and I think about that too, because growing up, my mother was physically abused, and so, and because of that, I've never put myself in that situation, never went through that situation, because I knew right then and there, no one's going to put their hands on me. But the thing is that because, all this stuff was going on, she still chose to keep going back. Yeah. And that's where we learn as women, keep going back, keep taking them back, keep staying, because we've seen this in our home growing up. It was acceptable when someone physically abused you, emotionally abused you, or, any type of verbally abuse you. It was we didn't want to separate the family. We didn't want to separate ourselves from that relationship. So we kept taking it and we kept staying in it, so we learn those behaviors from when, the things that we go through, the trauma that we experience as a child growing up, what we see in our own homes.
Yes. We learn how to tolerate, how to tolerate stuff. I said, and looking back, as my children were getting older and they were making poor choices, I was ask myself, like, what did I do wrong? Oh my God, why are they making these choices? Why aren't they following my lead as to, you know, when I've gotten it, when they've seen me struggle in these relationships, how at some point I put my foot down and I walked away. Why aren't they getting it? Why are they, you know? And I
Right.
thought something told me because they have learned how to build up a tolerance for the mess because they've watched you do it. They learned a tolerance, you know, to build a tolerance up.
Yes.
You know, to hang in there, to just to keep going, because like you know, many of us, like Keela was saying, you know, a lot of times we just keep trying, you know, we just keep trying, and sometimes, like she mentioned, she kept it all around. I cheated and everything else trying to get attention, basically, or trying to get, you know, I did everything that I could to try to, I think she said
Get rid
something
of
like that.
them. Yeah.
Yeah,
to get
was it
rid
to
of
get rid of
them.
them, to get rid of them?
Mhm.
And she, you know, she couldn't. So, you know, it's just, this is just crazy. I'm trying to get her in here.
She's still not in.
She's still not in. She just called and she just texted and said they're telling her that the password she put in is not working. So I think she's in. And now I'm trying to send her a link, and it won't even let me send her the link. Let me see. It's got to be something.
So I know the link is usually in that green security button at the left. You can
Right at the
copy the
left.
link. Yeah.
And it's the same one that I
And
sent y'all.
email
So
it
I'm
to
not
her.
sure. Right. That's the same thing I sent y'all. So I'm not sure what's going on. Let me make sure it's up there. Yeah. It's the same one. So I don't know why she's having such problems. So let me see. YJB. Yeah. She
Hey,
has everything.
the meeting Isaiah's right.
That's crazy. Okay, let me see. 28188. So yeah, you know, it's a lot of sisters that are going through it, and it's because they have their upbringing. I saw a lot of that when I was younger. You know, my grandmother, you know, well, I can't say my grandmother, she wasn't even really my grandmother, but I've seen and met women who were grandmothers that was in marriages and just weren't happy, you know. And so there, back to the barriers in our thinking, we have to figure out what it is, you know, what it is, what's missing. And it goes back to mental health. What traumatized us in our lives, somewhere where we start, we develop a need for attention, affection. What is it? You know, what was it? You know, what happened to us physically, mentally, emotionally, that's causing us to want to be close to someone that can do us more harm than good, you know. And until we visit some of those past situations and work our way through it, we'll continue to make those poor choices, right?
Yeah.
Even in our decision making, we can sit down and we can try to rationalize with our thoughts and what are we doing? What's going wrong? Lord, help me. What am I going? Like we were talking about earlier, if I could just touch the string on your garment, a hem on your garment, you know, Lord, deliver me, help me. We go through all of that. So even in us trying to make a decision as to what we should do, should we go or should we stay, we still can't come up with the answer.
Right.
So
with
we
the
say,
answer.
God help us.
Yes, until we ask God to show us a sign.
Right. Until we ask the Lord to build us up, you know, build me up so that I can stand in a place where this will never happen to me again. You know, build me up. And so, you know, a lot of women, though, they are so stuck, and men, they are just stuck in that place where they can't move past their emotions.
Right.
And that's why I mentioned earlier, you know, we got to get to the place where we say, you are not going to govern my emotions in this relationship.
Yeah.
nowhere. You're not going to have that kind, because when we allow the enemy to, or any male or female, from a practical standpoint, to govern our emotions,
Mhm.
they got us. We stuck.
That's the control. Mm-hmm. Yes.
When we give them that control over us, then it's over. So I have learned, get your emotions. I learned from experiences to be numb. I got numb after a while. It got old, going from man to man, looking for Mr. Right and never could find him. That got old, and then every time when you wake up and see, you're just disgusted because you've been sleeping with these people,
Exactly.
or from a
Mhm.
man's point of view, you've been bringing any woman that will, give you some affection and bringing them in, and your kids, and women and men do this, bringing them into your
Affection,
home.
attention. Mm-hmm. Or thinking you can get some monetary out of them because you're too lazy to take care of your own self.
Oh,
You too lazy to
manipulating.
hold up your own. You manipulating, you're lying, you're cheating.
Mhm.
You're telling women things that are not true
Yeah.
about your true character,
Yeah.
and that's where you have to know when to seek out God and when to walk away. Because anytime someone manipulates the word of God
Mhm.
and manipulates thinking that is from the Lord, and and that's why you have to know the Bible, you have to know the word, and you have to know what the word says, because you will be manipulated.
Yeah.
So that's where you're able to walk away from those type of situations, because no, that's not from God.
That's right. That's right. You have to have the word in you,
Mm-hmm.
because the word is going to come against that thing.
Yes.
The word of God. So no matter what lies and what they tell you, if you're grounded in the word of God, you're going to be able to discern right away. The word of God itself is a discerner.
Yes.
The word of God is God.
Yeah.
And so he's going to recognize when something's not right.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to, through you, he's going to be able to identify exactly what's being said. So it's so important for, everybody is not Christian. Everybody does not believe in the scriptures, the Bible.
Right.
There's so many people that say man wrote the Bible. They don't understand don't even understand how the Bible came to be, but they hold on to that. So they miss the only book in the world that can actually that is a living word, and gives you the instructions for life, and they overlook it because of their own beliefs. And so they walk around in life trying to figure out what their purpose and what their plan is.
Yes.
What God's plan is for their life. What is their purpose? So they walk in a daze and they never figure it out. They don't know who they are and whose they are. And that's the first thing the Lord teaches us when we embrace him, who we are and who we belong to, honey. And he lets us know, to be aware of the schemes of the enemy. And so once you know all that good stuff and you start pouring the word within you, it's not easy for somebody to pull the wool over your eyes.
Oh, no.
But they will come in the form of pastors.
Yes. Or pretend to be pastors. People who say they pastors that's not really practicing the word, not really practicing the Bible.
That's right. So many times often I've seen women on social media that were first ladies, quote unquote, or thought they were, and they find out that their husband's been sleeping with other men, that they're doing, and they find these things out, but still they stuck in that marriage because they've allowed their emotions to govern the relationship.
Right.
They have to deal with what is keeping you in that relationship. What is it that you don't think you are capable of doing or having that's keeping you in that relationship?
And a lot of people, I'm sorry, I think a lot of it has to do with being afraid of what people think too.
Mhm.
You know, they're worried about what people are gonna say, what they're gonna think, how they're
People
gonna be
pleasers.
looked upon.
People pleasers.
Yes,
And that comes from not knowing the word of God.
yeah,
And that's where, again, this is a practical and spiritual show. So we come from both perspectives, right is right and wrong is wrong. And if you don't, even if you don't have a relationship with God, you know what's right and you know what's wrong. And sometimes it's hard to distinguish what you should do about it, because of the mental issues. This is Keela. Hey, sweetie, you still can't get in?
Oh, I cannot get in. I done signed up, joined and everything.
That's crazy. And I'm trying to send your email and I can't even put your email. So while I have you on the phone, hold on. I'm going to try this again. This is absolute. We had a good conversation going. Oh my God. Okay, let me see. Give me your email address. Let me take you off a speakerphone. Give me your email address again. Let me try it. Okay. 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 Okay, so I'm gonna try this again. Gmail.com. Okay, last time I tried to send it, it wouldn't even let me send you email. I said, oh, nah, somebody mad. Okay, I just sent it. Yeah, right, because the numbers are so many numbers. So it should pop up. And I'm gonna put you on speakerphone so we can hear. There's a call, there should be a call-in number. I didn't see it. Okay, let me know if you get it, because Latrice, she never got her email early. Latrice, did that email ever come through earlier for you? Sorry, you guys, we just have a little technical
no,
difficulty.
I've never gotten it. I never got it.
I'm gonna have to get in touch with Zoom and find out why they're serving certain
Yeah,
things.
because I haven't got it yet either.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
And then, okay. So are you enjoying a meeting right now?
No.
Okay, go to join a meeting. And then type in this meeting code I'm gonna give you.
Okay.
Let me know when you're there.
I'm ready.
Okay, 729
Uh-huh.
908
Uh-huh.
1098.
Okay. I'm joining. It's saying, please enter meeting passcode.
Okay, so that number is YJB, all lowercase,
Uh-huh.
and then 889, capital D.
Okay.
You're in there. We rolling tonight. The devil is alive.
Yes.
So
He get mad trying to stop that truth from coming. He trying to mess it up. Yeah. Because I was like, that's the first thing I said, go to join the meeting. And so maybe you were in a different link or something. And that's probably.
And check her audio again.
I just did that twice.
Unmute.
4 times and it still wouldn't go through.
That's crazy.
The meeting had been over.
Oh, yeah. You was going back in that same old meeting. Mute your phone. I mean, take the mute your mic. Unmute it. Yeah.
It's saying that it's not muted.
Okay, there you go. Okay, yeah. You're
She came in.
now.
There you go. I'm about to hang up.
Okay.
Woo, let's get back to the meat and potatoes. Me and Latrice was trying to keep it going. We were doing a
Yes.
good job though. I mean, it's deep. I mean, I was just saying that I commended you, I commend you. If it's okay, y'all want to just go to 9:30 so we can at least cover the questions?
Yes.
Or y'all got something to do? Are we good?
Good. I'm good.
I'm good too.
Okay. Okay, cool. Let's get to so it was did we answer the third? Let me see. I got three and I know Latrice, she has three, but we may have already answered that. We'll see. So the third one, okay, so the third question that I sent you was what motivates you to continue to build on what you have learned throughout, let me see, on what you have learned. Let me see, what you have learned throughout your life. So that means through the struggle, wherever you started, what motivates you to continue to build, like continue to stand in that space that when you walked away.
To do
Cut your
everything.
phone up, cut your volume up. Let me see.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
So my mom and my dad are my biggest motivations almost with any aspect in life that I go through. I look at them and I try to learn from them. And if I can't see it, I'm going to ask questions. I need to get answers or something to help me through. But yeah, my mom and my dad is my biggest, influence
Motivators.
and
Yeah.
motivation. Because I look at them and like I said, ever since I was a little girl, I've always wanted what they have. I was just thinking about that, thinking about when I was a little girl, like my dad was my first love,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I like to dance. And I have 5 other brothers and sisters, there's 6 of us, and we all like to dance too. So that's like a passion for us. And I remember when I was a little girl, he used to put me on top of his feet and dance around with me and stuff. I love it.
Yeah.
Anything that if I ever have problems or trouble with, I always look up to my mom and my dad because they're real motivators, and
Yeah.
I learn a lot from them every day. Even right now today, they've been together. They've been married for 26, 27 years.
Yeah.
But they've been since before I was born, and I'm 37. I just turned 37 on the 10th.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We were just talking about long-term marriages and how from a negative perspective, like, I mean, not negative perspective, but how sometimes in those relationships, you can just learn to deal with people's stuff and be together and not be happy through the whole time because you never dealt with those barriers and you was just more comfortable to, kind of be in it, because of your upbringing, what you learned. So you build up a tolerance to deal with the nonsense. And some people get divorced and stuff 35, they've been together 35, 45, 50 years and they get divorced.
And they like 60, 70 years old.
Yeah. So it's good that you have a positive, and I'm sure your mom and dad, they've been through their stuff, but they decided what worked for them and they hung in there. And that's a beautiful thing. So toodles to all of those who are in marriages that are working, that are successful. We need to hear from y'all. We're going to try to get mom on here too. We talked about that, me and Keela, trying to get her on here so she can share with us, how she succeeded at working through some of the issues or barriers that she may have dealt with throughout her marriage or life, to help other people. So we are so if you're listening right now and you are going through and you don't have you never thought about having a support system, you can reach out. I have a couple of numbers I'm going to share before we go into the next 3 questions that Latrice is going to be presenting to Keela. I'm going to just give you all these numbers. So if anybody is viewing right now and you are in a situation of domestic violence and you don't know what to do, you don't know where to go, you can call 1-800-799-7233, and that is the National Domestic Violence hotline number. You can also text that number at 88, actually text the word START, S-T-A-R-T, to 88788. Again, if you are going through in a relationship and it is concerning, you have domestic violence issues going on, you can call the domestic violence hotline number at 800-799-7233 or text the word START, S-T-A-R-T, to 88788. In addition to that, if you have gotten to the point where you're ready to give up, we say don't give up, honey, because there is hope. You can get through it. I know it's hard when you have to make a decision to leave a situation and you've put so much in, as Latrice was saying earlier, when you've invested so much into it, financially, and like Keela was saying, emotionally, mentally, honey, and you just feel like I'm ready to die. You will live. We speak it in your life right now. You will live and not die. If you need to talk to someone right away, call the Suicide Prevention Hotline, the National Suicide Prevention Hotline at 1-800-273-8255. And they do have a chat line. You'll be able to talk to someone right away. That number again is 273-8255. And that is the Suicide Prevention Hotline. They are people standing by right now, ready to talk to you through whatever decisions you have to make. Do not take your life, honey. Your life, you haven't even begun to live your life for you yet. Or if you did, guess what? We can always go back and fix whatever is broken so that you can start over. We'll be praying for you, and God bless you. Now we're going to go ahead and move to the next 3 questions, and hopefully we'll say something that's going to motivate you to stand in your space, baby.
Yeah.
And so you can finally start living the life that you deserve, like Keela is.
Yes. Yes, Keela. Okay, so I have a question. So I know that you're in a current relationship. And just in general, how has this experience changed the way you move in relationships, period? Like friendships, relationships, like how has that affected you, your trust, and things like that when it comes to getting into new relationships?
Yeah.
Well, like I said before, I'm still dealing with issues. So with him, he makes it a little easier for me. I try to well, like I said, it's only been 2 years for us, so we still getting to know each other.
Mm-hmm.
And that's us getting to know each other. That is a thing that's helping me deal with it.
Okay.
Deal with issues. He's at first was a little hard to talk to because he didn't really want to open up, I guess, or talk much. But
Yeah.
like I said, I feel like me pushing him to talk and let's talk, and you could tell me anything. I'm your best friend. I think that got him to open up more. So we're really connecting with each other on a different
Mhm.
level we used to, and on a different level that I've been used to being on with the previous guy.
Mhm.
So I'm just trying to do things differently. I'm trying to think before I act or say anything versus before. I'm just doing a lot of things different, and like Mama Duke
Like,
said.
can you elaborate? Like what kind of things are you doing differently? Just maybe to help some of our viewers.
I am setting boundaries. I do not want to go through what I just went through for 12 years. I want respect, I want love, and I want attention, and you're gonna receive the same thing out of me.
Mhm.
Mhm. Good. It's very important to
Right.
set boundaries.
Yeah.
So if you're viewing right now, boundaries, keyword.
Boundaries. What does that look like? Because for some people, I know that that can be hard, like to even envision what a boundary is, or how would you even start to set a boundary?
Yeah.
You put it in your head first. You have to think about it first, and
Mhm.
then try to put it into play.
Mhm.
Like I said, I try to think with almost anything that I do nowadays before I act on it, because I haven't always been this sweet. Grow up and be more mature and
Yeah.
set, an example for my kids so they can understand and know how things should be and how things supposed to happen and work out.
Mhm.
Right.
So a boundary, an example would be, you're not going to come into, if you have, say for instance, I'm not going to negotiate with you concerning, say for instance, I'm not an alcoholic or I don't drink because it
Right.
leads me to this and that and the other. So because you drink, I'm not going to allow you to come in or bring that into my home because that's not what I choose. And I don't care if it is one
Exactly.
drink.
Yeah.
So I'm setting a boundary right there too.
Mhm.
That's another example of setting it. I'm setting the boundaries. No, you're
So
not
one
going
of
to cross this. You're not going to cross this threshold that I
Right.
created to prevent you from interfering, coming in my space.
Right.
So one of my examples was to let him understand that I've already been through this type of situation, whatever the
Mhm.
situation may
Mhm,
be, before, over and over again.
mhm.
I'm not going to do it today. It's
That's
going to
right.
either be this way or it's going to be no way.
Way. Mhm. That's
To
right.
you to decide if you want to deal with that or not.
That's right.
So I do not tolerate disrespect, especially
Right.
inside the home. Now, if we get out in the street and something happen out there, that's a different situation. But at home, in front of my kids, around my kids, it's a no-no.
That's
So
right.
example, I don't tolerate disrespect.
Mhm.
And that's a good one. A lot of young women need to set those type of boundaries.
Yes.
Certain things you're just not going to do in front of my kids, honey. That's not going to happen in my house. There's a lot of men, they'll come into a woman's house and they will take over.
Trying to take. Yeah.
They will take and
Mhm.
try to take, look, women like us, they will try to take over.
Yeah.
But in other women, they
They
actually
have
take over.
taken over.
Honey,
Yeah.
they feeding the kids hot dogs and wieners, and the man wants steak and salad and all the baked potato and all the extra. And that's okay to fix your man a steak when he want a steak. Y'all won't eat steak. And if the kids want some hot dogs, they prefer that, that's fine. But some people's mindset is just that way. They think more of that man they done brung in that's stepping over all kind of boundaries, and they put them on a pedestal and forget when that man is gone, guess where them babies gonna be?
Right there in the home, remembering that they didn't get steak and they got hot dogs. But I
Right.
treat
And they gonna tell you when they get older.
Oh,
So-
yeah.
I'll give you another example too, because when he first came around my kids, he was kind of bothered by the fact that I give my kids a lot of respect.
I don't know why.
I might treat them a little bit too friendly as my
Yeah.
children, but I just want us to have that kind of relationship where, because
Yeah.
I want to know everything you're doing, when you're doing it, how you're doing it, who you're doing it with. And I feel like that's one of the key things by me treating them like that with respect. They definitely respect me. So
Yeah.
with that, so they can open up more to me, and they
Yeah.
do. They tell me everything, like they tell me everything, and I love it.
Yeah. That's the type of relationship my daughter has with her children. A lot of, and I'm gonna tell you, I'm not gonna talk about that, but I'm gonna talk about the reason why and that happened in her case real quick, and I'm gonna let Latrice finish asking question. But it's because when she was being raised in my home, I set boundaries, right? And certain things she just could not do, certain things we weren't gonna talk about, because not to do that. I didn't leave no room for her to say, like my daughter, her and her child's relationship, one of her children is, listen, I don't care, girl, if you decide that you're gonna have sex, you need to tell me so that I can take you and get birth control. So
Right.
with that, she opened that communication to talk about sex. But to me, I would say, hold on for a minute. Don't forget to include, it's not good to have sex before you marry. It's not good to just, be with people because you want to have sex. Even though I'm opening this door to talk to you so we can have those conversations, remember this part.
Yeah.
Remember this part, because I'm not going to be okay when you come to me with that conversation. We're not going to kick it. We're not going to kick it about that. I'm going to tell you, hey, listen, I don't know what's on your mind. I'm not about to beat you down, but I don't know what's on your
Right.
mind, but what are you thinking? Because honey, he'll get you up against a wall and rub the blue jeans off of you, grinding on you and carrying on to the point where you done went and did something you had no business doing. What are you gonna put what situation you gonna put? I was one that there was grind on, honey, and I know what it can lead to was
Yeah.
I'm talking about keeping it real, y'all. This is keep it real.
Yes.
I'm
I
telling
haven't got
Honey,
to
honey, I
Okay.
started grounding when I was 13 years old. Let me
Come on.
tell you that.
grind
So
it to your store, honey.
yes, we know.
We
You
got
know,
this
no
together.
one's
So I'm
innocent.
saying it's okay to do boundaries. It's okay to have those relationships. And that's probably where Randy was coming from. But we're not going to be, I'm not your friend. I don't want to know you smoking weed. Don't tell me, because if I find out, there's going to be consequences to that. Whatever you do, my mama used to say, and that comes from me. That's how my mama taught me.
Mhm.
You better not be doing that. If I find out you're doing that, it didn't stop me from doing that. I was at
Right.
the pool hall, honey, on the side, grinding it out. Got pregnant at 16. You understand me? So what she said, it didn't change nothing. Like with my daughter, with all that openness, ain't changed nothing. My granddaughter is just crazy as the best. Piggy ain't no joke, and I don't mind being transparent about mine. And if anybody out that's viewing got a problem with that, honey, scroll on. I'm just saying, we're keeping it real on this talk show, because this is real life stuff that happens in families for real life stuff that we try to sweep up under the rug, and it needs to be talked about. Latrice, I'll let you go ahead. Yeah.
Now I know you said, I'm assuming you had children like during that time.
Mhm.
So just speaking on a mother's, being a mother and having children in that situation, like what were your thoughts about them being there and seeing you going through being with this man and his alcoholism? How did that affect them? And what were your thoughts on making sure they were not a part of that?
Yeah.
it broke my heart because they watched every single moment,
Yeah.
They cried and got defensive, when they would see us argue and fighting and stuff, because we wasn't doing no little fighting. We was putting a pause. I was putting a pause on him. But I didn't want my kids to see me doing that, because like I said, I never grew up like that. I didn't grow up around anything like that. I knew it was happening, but it wasn't in my home.
Yeah.
And I wanted my kids to feel what I felt growing up, even though that wasn't. It did. It hurted me. It hurt my soul.
Mhm.
And then what really got me was one day me and him, we had got into a real huge fight. And my daughter, she was probably about 12 at the time, and she was just so scared and just so afraid. I was like, why you so afraid? Like, we done this so many times already before. Like, this ain't nothing new. Like, and I thought about that after I'm saying, after it happened. I'm like, that's not even a conversation you need to be having
Like
with your
that's the
child.
norm. Yeah, like there was just a norm, part of the normal.
Mhm.
Yeah. And so that was like one of my breaking points then. It was like, after that, me and him was just like on and off, but mostly off,
Mhm.
around the time, probably about, I'm gonna say about 6 months. And that's when I met Randy.
Yeah.
Just a relief when I met him. I was just like, okay. And then I started to see what kind of guy he really was. And I was
Mhm.
like, oh, he's a piece of cake. I can handle this. Like, I ain't gotta,
Right.
I can handle, I can live like this. I might as well just snatch him on up and just put him in my pocket, because I'm done. I'm just sick of going in out these relationships. So,
Right. Till you see his
no,
head pop out that pocket every now and then. What's going on?
I know, right? And I'm still right now, I'm still learning, and I can handle it. I can handle him because he's not a bad guy at all. he doesn't do any of that drinking and stuff. And so I don't have to worry about that at all. He is very loyal, you know,
Yeah.
so, and that makes me feel so good and so secure. So
Yeah.
I'm just trying to be
Okay.
happy.
That's amazing. Now I have one more question for you, because I know that there may be women in this situation that have parents, a mom and dad, and they're a huge impact in their relationship too. So how do you deal with that when you're in this type of relationship and then you have your parents who've been together mostly all your life, and you grew up in a two-parent household? How did that affect your relationship with them? And were you like, what would you like tell someone if there's someone, because you know, a lot of us, we argue back and forth. We don't want to hear what our parents got to say when we're in a situation. We want to be in it and stay in it, and we tell them stay out of it. So how did that affect you guys' relationship? Or
As far as my
how did their relationship help you get out of it, or maybe help you see things differently, if I'm saying that right?
okay, so my mom, she is like one of the most sweetest, gentle people that you're gonna ever meet. Like seriously. And she always see the good in somebody, even though she could see the bad right in front of her, you know. And she like I said, she's a big influence on me. I go to my mom and talk to her like she's my sister. Like we talk about everything. I don't sugarcoat nothing, you know. And I guess what you're asking me is what kind of information I can give somebody else about.
Right. Or how did that affect your relationship with your parent? And did they ever tell you to get out? What was your response to that? Like, how do you, because you know, when you're a parent, you don't want to see your child going through nothing like that. So how did that affect you guys' relationship? And did that have something to do with you leaving?
Yes, my mom and yeah, they definitely had something to do with me leaving. Only because they, you know, brought me to reality. You know, they only want me. You know, we all want the best for our kids, so we're gonna do
Yeah.
nothing the best thing we can. And like I said, she was the one that gave me the idea. You really need to sit down and think about how you want your life to end up, you know, and how you want to live your life nowadays. You know, kids are always watching. Even when you think they ain't watching, they watching.
Yes.
Where when they were kids, because me and him, I'm gonna say my kids right behind each other, just like auntie kids is. They right now they're 15, 16, and my daughter said she's 17, but she'll be 18 in May. And yeah, they was seeing and hearing stuff that I didn't think they was seeing and hearing. Like they tell me right now today, and I'd be so shocked.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you remember that? You know, my kids' relationship are great. Like, you know, like I said, they respect me. And we talk to each other. I try to get them to be as honest as possible. We know how teenagers are. I
Yeah.
was a teenager too. As far as my parents' relationship, it didn't really change anything with our relationship. They, like I said, they just want the best for me. So I just took the advice, you know. I don't always take the advice. I try to think on my own and make my own decisions for me, you know. But when I hear something that's real, I can't do nothing but take that, you know. And like I said, it didn't happen overnight. It, you know, it definitely takes time and it's not easy. You definitely gonna need some kind of support to help you through a situation like that, because it can feel like you just gonna die. Like you don't want to eat, you don't want to get up, you don't want to go outside, you up your eyes sometimes, you know, all you're doing is crying, you feel sick, your head hurting. It's not a good thing to be. And that's another thing my mom always told me, your health and your sanity come first.
Yeah.
So if you ain't got that, you ain't got nothing. You're gonna be a lost person. And I just couldn't lose that. I couldn't let that go like that. Like it got to the point that my appearance and everything go. But that part, I said I can't let that go. I gotta get that back. And
Good.
it was something somebody had said to me, and I can't even remember who it was, but they was talking about, the energy of your home. And at
Mhm.
that time, I just felt like it was just demons following me. Like I
Yeah,
realized that demons was following me. And I was just like,
yeah.
I can't live like this.
Mhm.
And I got rid of them demons. Them demons gone. They ain't been back since. And
That's right.
it's
Good.
peaceful and sweet. And I love
Yeah.
it.
Awesome.
Mhm. That comes from setting those boundaries and keeping your feet down. But I guess the worst part is, the struggle, to get to that point. And so we have shared tonight stories on what the struggle looked like for us. And we have shared ways to get out of it. We have given numbers for domestic violence line, the suicide prevention hotline. We're going to keep coming on here, Latrice and I, and we love Keela. Anytime you want to come on, you can come on as often as you can. You can stay on with us, but we're going to keep on reaching out, and we're going to keep inviting women and men to come in and just talk through some of the stuff, but it is time for us to deal with real life issues, and just keep it real. It's just time to out for sweeping things under the rug,
Mhm.
and hiding things and being miserable, being unhappy, because like Keela mentioned, it takes you to a place of depression. And that is a dark, dark place to be. When you feel isolated and that no one loves you and they won't,
Mhm.
you feel like they won't receive you and you've given all of you, that is a sad place to be. And I have been in that place, honey, to the point where I cried to my mama because I was tired of that second marriage. I was so tired of dealing with that person and, his addictions, and trying to be a wife, trying to be a mother, trying to hold it down, with little bit of money. He wasn't holding no job, honey. It was a lot. And finally, I had a nervous breakdown on my steps in my house with my kids in the other room, to the point where they had to call my mama when she was alive. And she sat there on them steps with me, and I cried, honey, so many tears, so many tears. And that's when I said on that song, if I can just touch the hem of your garment, I know I'll be made whole. And so we encourage the viewers tonight to reach out. If you don't know the Lord, there's always an opportunity for you to ask the Lord to come into your heart and to show you who He is. He will send the Spirit of truth, and the Spirit of truth will lead you into all truth concerning all things. Your eyes will be open because the scales will fall off your eyes, honey. He will whisper in your ear and woo you and tell you that you are beautiful and wonderfully made, and that you do not desire. He will tell you about those demons that Keela was talking about, those same demons that are putting you into spiritual orgies and passing you around, listen, lying to you, acting like they're your Boaz, telling all kind of lies and manipulating you. The Lord will tell on them, honey, shake them up and cast them right in hell, so that you can focus on Him and realize that He is the lover of your heart. It's Him that you've been searching for your whole life. So I ask the question to you tonight: do you want to be free? Do you want to be free? You can be free right now. The process can start right now. And if you are not a believer and you want to know about this God that Latrice and Keela and Shalata that we have mentioned, if you want to know Him, all you have to do is say, Lord, I want to know you. I need to be free. If you need help right now, call, and you're suicidal, call the hotline number now. Don't wait another minute. If it's a domestic violence and you're scared, honey, think you're gonna come up and start go upside your head, you better get that domestic violence number. I'm gonna give that one to you again: 1-800-799-7233, or you can text the word START to 88788. Do not set in that no longer, that depression. Come out of the dark and be in this wonderful light, this space that we have found that has been so rewarding. God bless each and every one of you. I'm going to let Latrice say her last words, and then we're let Keela say her last words, and we're going to continue this on Monday at 8. Latrice.
I just want to say I am so grateful and thankful to be a part of this platform because it's very much needed. It's very much needed. And these are things, like you said, we need to talk about, we need to be aware of. And a lot of people are afraid to talk about them and are afraid to know what a boundary is, are afraid to walk away, and are afraid to do the things that's necessary to be a better them, to have peace. And,
Yes.
you know, and I know I've been in that situation where I had to walk away and didn't care what I left behind,
Yeah.
as long as I had peace.
Yeah.
And so I'm just glad to be able to help women and help men. And I can't wait for our guests, different guests, to come on and hear their stories and
Yeah.
touch people. So I'm excited.
Yes, absolutely. And Keela, if you want to go ahead and close us out the best you can.
Sure. I just want to say to anybody out there, the struggle is real, but we all can get through it. We all strong enough to get through it. I want to thank y'all for having me. I'm gonna come on as much as I can,
Yes.
and everybody just stay blessed and peaceful and what's the word I'm looking for? My daddy used to say this word to me all the time. Humble. Stay humble.
Humble.
Yes.
Yes, that's key. That's key. Stay humble and watch the Lord move in the situation. He will move in that. And if you don't know him again, you have now an invitation to get to know the Lord, your creator, the creator of the world. We love you. We bless you. We'll keep you in prayers. If you want to reach out to any of us, you can do that. Just get in my box and I will connect you to whoever you want to talk to that was on this panel today, in order that you get to the next step of changing your mindset, developing personally, and correcting your thinking. We love you. God bless you. Good night.
God bless you. Good night.